Yeah, and I'm glad that you said what you said, because me looking like me, and you looking like you, I was like, to me, whenever the Smart City Initiative started coming in here, and I'm like, okay, is it just me, or should melanated people be as concerned as me about this? And to hear you express that you're a little surprised, um, reassures me that I'm not completely kooky in my caution of this. So,
Hmm.
uh, so, and anyway, um, it does put me in a very, precarious situation, because I pray for LaRonda every day. I pray for certain city council members every day. I want to believe that that at heart, our public officials have our best interest at heart, and that maybe they just didn't weigh the consequences of this. And so, nevertheless, time is running out, because for obvious reasons, on a national level, time is running out on these issues. And kind of like Captain America, this is not freedom. And even if it means I have to say some stuff to you that's uncomfortable, trust me, I'm saying it from a place of love and caution, and maybe a little bit of experience and wisdom on the subject matter. It's not just, I'm paranoid, clearly. So, that being the case, Marcia, what I wanted to do is, by the time this is probably aired, there will be an email. I did let Madam Mayor know that I was going to take time to process council's response, right, and then follow up, do my due diligence, and follow up, and let her know I would, be communicating with City Council and what my thoughts are on their responses to our concerns. And so by the time this actually is uploaded, they should have the email. But would you like to hear the email?
Sure.
All right, let me go ahead and do a screen share, and you ladies let me know when the Multiverse of Madness is back up.
See it.
Man, that was quick. All right, so you guys can see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the email that I took time, to process everything and put my thoughts on the mistress, which is the blank white page, and this is what they have now. Dear City Council members, Police Chief Fisher, and Mayor Patrick, on February 18th, 2025, myself and others addressed the City Council regarding our concerns about Operation Rolling Thunder. We referenced Law Dixon's viral stop, which clearly demonstrated that the operation was not about public safety. Additionally, we highlighted the growing police state tactics affecting the Hispanic community and the flock surveillance system's blatant violation of the Fourth Amendment rights of Warner Robins residents. First and foremost, the claim that the flock system can be turned off and on like a switch only when a crime occurs is deceptive, as that is not how the flock system operates. This false assurance misleads the public into believing they are not under constant surveillance, when in reality, their movements are continuously tracked and stored. The council's response was deeply troubling. First, they attempted to renounce responsibility for Operation Rolling Thunder by claiming it was conducted by their, quote, higher-ups in a, quote, hierarchy, and that we, the people, must understand that they too have, quote, bosses. This statement is concerning because the foundation of our republic establishes that while there may be a hierarchy, at the top of that hierarchy is we, the people. The source of law comes from us, as affirmed in Yicwo versus Hopkins. If the council believes state or federal officials hold authority above the will of the people, and if they personally disagreed with Operation Rolling Thunder but still acquiesce to it, then they cannot be trusted to ensure that the flock system remains under local control. Their denial of responsibility for one contradicts their claim of control over the other. Additionally, Councilman Charlie Bibbs' remarks about standing behind Mayor Patrick's, quote, leadership on the flock issue are both weak and repugnant. This attempt to shift future blowback onto the mayor is a blatant abdication of responsibility. Madam Mayor Patrick was not elected to be the, quote, leader, nor were any council members. Elected officials are public servants and guardians of the people's rights. Their role is to counsel and protect the Constitution, not to rubber stamp mass surveillance systems. The failure to safeguard the Fourth Amendment falls more on the council than on the mayor, as it was their duty to dissuade her from implementing such invasive measures. Their lack of diligence and respect for the Bill of Rights is what allowed this violation to take root. Furthermore, I have long held the opinion that Councilman Charlie Bibb lacks nobility, honor, or genuine concern for the people over his own interests. His dismissive attitude regarding civil liberties, stating that anyone with a cell phone is already being tracked, as if that justifies further government overreach, is disgraceful. Private citizens choosing to contract with mobile providers with the ability to control tracking features is entirely different from the government-imposed mass surveillance with no opt-out. His just saying attitude toward the erosion of our rights is further evidence that he is unfit to serve Warner Robins and should consider stepping down. Illusion of safety versus legal liability. While the intent behind implementing Flock may have been to keep the 87,000 residents of Warner Robins safe, the reality is that this system has burdened taxpayers with 87,000 plus potential legal standings in court due to these blatant Fourth Amendment violations. Every single resident now has grounds to challenge the city's decision, and the financial and legal repercussions could be catastrophic. Privacy violations and overreach. The Flock system engages in mass surveillance, collecting and storing vehicle data indiscriminately, often without proper oversight. This raises constitutional concerns regarding the Fourth Amendment, which protects residents from unreasonable searches and seizures. The collection of this data, without individualized suspicion or warrants, sets a dangerous precedent for government overreach and encroachment on personal privacy. The constitutionality of speeding cameras is already being challenged by multiple sheriffs and legislators in our state. The Flock system is an even greater threat to civil liberties and will inevitably be challenged as well. Potential for abuse and misuse. Given the recent media spotlight on cases of police overreach and abuse of power in multiple departments and offices in our area, particularly affecting the melanated community, there is further cause for concern. Any tool given to law enforcement is actually a weapon in the wrong hands. With the stories of James Mathis, Samuel McCrary, Law Dixon, and now Juana Ash's son surfacing in only a matter of weeks, the last weapon local law enforcement needs is Flock. History has shown that surveillance tools in the wrong hands leads to abuses of power. The lack of transparency in Flock's data sharing policies allows for misuse by unauthorized parties, including private corporations, federal agencies, and even bad actors within law enforcement. Given past instances of government overreach in our state, it is imperative that we scrutinize any system capable of tracking residents' movements in real time. Ineffectiveness in crime prevention. Despite claims that Flock aids in solving crimes, studies indicate that such mass surveillance tools have minimal impact on crime prevention. Criminals adapt quickly, while law-abiding residents bear the cost of being monitored at all times. The real question remains, do the benefits of this system outweigh the dangers of mass surveillance, legal and financial liability? The city's adoption of the Flock system could expose taxpayers to legal challenges. Municipalities across the country have faced lawsuits over warrantless data collection and misuse of surveillance technology. Are we prepared to defend costly legal battles over constitutional violations? Furthermore, what safeguards are in place to ensure that this data is not exploited by third parties? Violation of oath and legal consequences. Every city official who has sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution has now placed themselves in direct violation of that oath by supporting or enabling this system. Under Georgia Code 1610.1, any public officer who willfully and intentionally violates their oath of office is guilty of a crime. By approving and implementing the Flock system, city officials may also be in violation of 18 U.S. Code 241, conspiracy against rights, and 18 U.S.C. 242, deprivation of rights under color of law, both of which carry serious legal consequences, including potential civil and criminal liabilities. Case study, Sabrina Mergenthaler's Flock Nightmare. A stark warning can be found in the case of Sabrina Mergenthaler in Gwinnett County. Due to a clerical error tied to a 7-year-old speeding ticket, a Flock camera erroneously flagged her vehicle for an invalid warrant. Within 30 minutes, law enforcement swarmed her home, tased her, and arrested her, all because of this flawed system. Does this sound like crime prevention, or is this the reckless endangerment of innocent residents? As a result, sizable lawsuits have been filed against the responsible agencies for this grave deprivation of civil rights under the color of public safety. The residents of Warner Robins must take heed. This is not a hypothetical risk. It has already happened in our backyard. A call for an emergency town hall meeting. Given the serious concerns surrounding the flock system, I urge the City Council to hold an emergency town hall meeting on April 13th that is prominently publicized to discuss the broader implications of this surveillance program. This meeting should be live streamed, and each council member should conduct a poll on their social media platforms, allowing the residents of Warner Robins to publicly vote on whether they are willing to sacrifice their privacy for a mere perception of safety. Furthermore, I request that each city council member provide a formal response to this email by March the 23rd, addressing their stance on this issue. A warning to parents and city officials. Am I cooking, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Are you cooking?
Glad. A warning to parents and city officials. Sometimes, because I can't see you when I'm doing screen share, so I'm like, did I lose them? Anyway, a warning to parents and city officials. Most of you receiving this email are parents. You must ask yourselves, is this the kind of world you want your children to grow up in? A world where their every movement is monitored, tracked, and recorded? The installation of this surveillance system should terrify every single parent, especially those in positions of power, who now have the responsibility to make a decision that will shape the future of our community. The moral argument cannot be won. While city officials may attempt to win the battle of legalese and justify Flock's implementation under cries of public safety, you will never win the moral argument on this. The residents of Warner Robins are watching. They are waiting to see whether their representatives will dig in their heels and force this Orwellian system upon them, or whether they will take a wise and measured course of action by pausing to reflect on the broader ramifications of this system. Educational links that would be provided. Before proceeding any further with the Flock system, each council member is strongly urged to conduct diligent research on the documented abuses and failures of mass surveillance technologies. To assist in this effort, an educational resource list will be provided with critical studies, case examples, and legal analyses. Ignoring this information would not only be irresponsible, but a dereliction of duty to those you serve. This issue is not merely about technology, it is about the fundamental principles of our republic, privacy, and government accountability. The residents of this city will not stand idly by as their rights are quietly eroded under the guise of public safety. I look forward to your response and to a public discussion on this critical matter. The residents deserve answers. Below are the links to begin your enlightenment. Thank you and serve us well. And of course, as you can see, I have a plethora of lengthy links and a cool ass downloaded content signature at the bottom. But a plethora, a treasure trove of links so that there is no excuse. So I shall open the floor to your thoughts on this email.